This video will cover the Emergency Management tab on the Enterprise version. The first thing that you want to do here is go over the Add, Edit, Delete buttons for your events, actions, weather, and the recipients. So you can actually go ahead and edit these by clicking on each one. I will go ahead and click on the Add, Edit, Delete events. So the emergency management events, for example, would be something like a slip and fall accident, or maybe a fire drill or active shooter. Also severe weather, such as maybe a tornado, lightning, snowstorm, anything like that. You can add the event name by clicking here in the field, and then you will want to click on Save. If you already have event names in here and you would like to edit them, you would need to click on the pencil and paper next to each event name. And this will allow you to edit that. It will appear at the top here, and you can just edit the name and then click on Save. If you would like to delete it, you would just need to click on the X here next to the event name. And we'll go ahead and go back. And this will be the same for your actions, weather, and the recipients. So I will go ahead and show you. So one thing to note here, you do need to have the events in place before you put in the action. So for example, here you see the action name at the top, and then you have to select the event. So it does need to correspond to an event. Okay, and I'll go ahead and go back, and I'll just click on the weather. And as you can see, it is the same as the last two here. And the recipients, it is also the same here. So now that you've edited all of that, you can now click on your threat assessment if you wish to run a threat assessment. You can add, edit, or delete your recipients here. You can see the filed forms that you've already filled out. You can fill out a new form, or you can go to the threat assessment login URL. So I'll go ahead and click on threat assessment form to show you what this looks like. So right here we have the threat assessment form. This is a general format for it. In case of an emergency, you would need to fill this out. At the bottom here we have the levels of the threat assessment. So these are very specific. You would need to fill this out specifically if it was a low level, a mid level, or a high level. Low level would be that the threat is very vague. And of course, high level would be a direct threat. And at the bottom here, we have an example. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, I intend to shoot the principal. That is a high level threat. So once you fill this out, you can just click on next page. And you will need to fill out the rest of this. These are personality traits and behavior for your threat assessment. Once you filled this page out, you can click on next again. The next page is going to be the family dynamics. And the last page is your submit page. You will need to fill in the social dynamics and then click on submit. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here. So after you filled out that form, you can find it under the threat assessment filled forms. And if you do have more than one school, you can click on the school here and see where you have it. So after you found the school, you can see that you have the threat assessment that you filed. You can go ahead and click on that to view it, and it'll download at the bottom here as a PDF. You can see when it was created and who it was created by. So let's go ahead and go back to the Emergency Management tab. The next thing that we have here is your reunification status. Your reunification status is used in case of an emergency at the school. This will allow you to dismiss students to their parents. And once you've dismissed them to their parents, they will appear here on the list. So on the home page, you were actually able to dismiss them to their parents, and that information was submitted to this page right here. Okay, back on the emergency management tab here, we have your incidence reports. Your incidence reports are going to be any of the incidence reports that you've already ran. So you can find them here. Again, you can search for the school if you do have more than one school. And the file will appear here. You can just click on the file and it will download at the bottom as a PDF. Okay, back on the emergency management tab here. If you would like to run an incidence report, you can go ahead and click on Report Emergency Incident. So you will just need to fill in the information here for the report or incident. The weather, the action, the event, these are all things that you should have edited on the previous page that I showed you. So as you can see here, we do have the events that we edited before. And you also have weather. You need to fill in the time and date and the location as well. If you do have multiple schools, make sure that you select the school first. And then you will need to select the action. Again, the action does correspond to the event, and you can edit that on the previous page. Then you will need to fill in the reporting person's information and describe the event. There's also a few other things here, such as the opinion and observations. You can even upload pictures of the incident. Once you're done filling out this form, you will just click on Submit. After you've submitted, this will actually go into your Incidence Reports tab right here that I showed you before. You can find it under there, and if you need to download it at all, you can go ahead and download that from there. If faculty and staff need to file an emergency or incidence report, they do have a login link from themselves. They will just need to click on this. This will give you the link that you can then copy and paste and send to your faculty and staff so that they can log in and report an incident. Let's go ahead and click on back here. And that concludes this video. To access additional videos, please visit us at schoolcheckin.com.